citizen journalism is exceedingly easy to fake.
Social media is a tool to reach the masses that we're not getting the truth about either side.
That was the
either
pitch.
side.
That was the pitch when we first started. The problem is they learned very quickly.
I do have to say, though, citizen journalism is becoming more and more prevalent. And like Dina's saying, it's people on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat like reporting live from the scene.
That's not citizen journalism.
But prevalent is that itself is a vulnerability, because as I've observed for the last 2.5 years of the hot part of the Ukrainian invasion, that citizen journalism is exceedingly easy to fake.
Yep.
And the Russians are masters at it. And
for 100 years they've been good at it.
I would still say go to the credible sources.
But what's the credible
if you
source?
have a journalist on the ground literally giving you visuals and videos, pictures
They
of
used to
everything.
fake that during the Gulf War. They'd fake it during hurricanes where Anderson Cooper stands in a ditch.
I think right
and
now
goes, "We're flooded."
Yeah.
And then he walks out and it's with a half an inch of water. I mean, they've been faking that for so long.
There's things that are being faked. So what I'm saying is social media is a tool to reach the masses that we're not getting the truth about either side.
That was the
either
pitch.
side.
That was the pitch when we first started. The problem is they learned very quickly that all those independent people are easily bought. So that was the problem with grassroots
got
at a
that.
certain
We
point.
got that, but
you'd have people start, and then they're getting money from someone to push it, because you can't do it for forever.
Just like
They
we
became
said, their
poorly paid
resume.
journalists.
Just like we said, their resume is a bullet point
Right.
sheet, an introduction. It's the same setup. People are getting an introduction to go do their own research, to go find other resources.
But they don't know
just
how
like
to,
we were
to
discussing.
Research. They don't know how to research. They don't.
Who
they
doesn't know how to research? You don't know how to go to history books and read?
Put 100 people in a room, and I bet you 95 don't have the basic idea of what research really means.
Are we talking about age or
They
generations?
go to Google and look
or-
at the first 2 links.
We can't. No.
They go to
we
Facebook
can't-
and see what somebody says. I had a buddy who used to look at Facebook and then go see if the article was true because it was on CNN. I'm like, that's not research.
Exactly.
That's called verification that it's not fake.
That you made my point. So it goes back to now we're seeing a lot of so everything on social media we're saying can be faked. So CNN has been doing that. The Western media has been doing that. Either sides over there has been doing that. We got that. But when we say research, you still got to go find your credible sources. So if you really want to know what's going on, you're gonna do this didn't start in 2018.
I don't disagree
didn't
with you.
start
I'm just
October
saying that
7th.
I covered the media for a long time. I was in it. I push stories. I know how it works. I don't know what a credible source is anymore.
So the
I don't trust it. The only credible source
Exactly.
is a reporter who got fired for like 6 months as they tried to be independent. That's about the only time anyone's credible anymore, because
So
they need
we
money. There's leaning. There's
That's why we at The Merge support independent journalism. Give us a follow.
Yeah. Well, so here's
But
here's
it
the
just
type.
goes back
so
to-
there is certain types of journalists that I think that you can say are credible because you know how they're motivated, right? It's a new form of media literacy that we need to make sure people understand. Right?
really hard though. It takes time.
Absolutely. But like there's some basic stuff that you can take away from old school journalism. There are practices that some independent journalists do where they will double source stuff versus
If your mother tells you that she loves you, you better get 2 more sources to prove it. That was the old standard.
versus people that like to screenshot other social media platforms like Telegram or Instagram and call that a source. That's not a source. That's something that you saw that you may think agrees with what your point of view is and you want to promote it, right? But that's not necessarily a source. That's not journalism.
Right.
That's reporting on something that's thinly sourced, right? So there are independent journalists out there, some better than others, that are good at hunting down supporting evidence for the things that they're going to say.
Right.
Name
one.
I don't. We can depends on what sector we're talking about. So
Name
this
15.
This is what. Yeah, name 15. Yeah, I'd be hard pressed. But the other thing that we can
debate the other night.
Well, the other thing
It
that
was brilliant. Vivek says name 3.
Right.
Which is hard to do on its own. You could just say the Don Badger. Name 3. Whenever you want to make someone doubt or make them look dumb, pick a number. Oh yeah, you know a lot of people. Name 6.
Yeah.
Like it does. It's just
You're,
6. It's just
you're a
6
fan of
people.
Star Wars? Name 20 movies.
That's basically that.
So the other thing that I think is important to for the modern media literacy is to understand how they're paid, right?
Right.
So people that are paid by traditional ad impressions are always going to be there to manipulate you to be upset or angry or sad or some emotion.
And even if the reporter's good, the editor and the person running the online site needs to change it because it's the headlines that people read. They don't dig into it.
Whereas like industry news, if they are if they're ad supported, that means they're always going to be reporting strictly on things that you have heard of before, because that's the only thing people are going to click on. Whereas if they're industry news and they're industry supported, like underwriting, then they may have a perspective to talk about things that are less boring, and then you got to figure out, okay, are they supported by one group of people or one specific company, or is it like a pass the tin cup around, get like a whole industry to support this thing? It's a complex way to digest media. We don't have just, okay, this type of person is good, this type of person is bad. You know, CNN good, Fox bad doesn't exist anymore. New York Times bad, or New York Times good, Post bad. That paradigm is gone. You have to be literate into like what motivates good and bad writing and journalism and reporting. Otherwise, you're going to be wrong by whatever you know. You're going to be wrong because you're going to be trusting bad people.
Well, that's been the argument for years. We're not informed, we're misinformed.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.